Hey, everybody. We are on with the Honorable Mayor, Nancy Young. And as I said to Mayor Young off camera, my longtime friend, former boss, and board member, Elihu Harris, says she's a really nice lady. Tell her I said hello. So
Make sure you tell him I say hello.
Yeah, he says great things about you. So, but in honest, with or without Elihu's statement, let's see, this is your second term as mayor, and you've served in total between city council person and mayor, I believe 10 years.
Yes, now I'm in my 11th year.
11th year of the city of Tracy. That's congratulations. Thank you. It's quite an honor. I come to you because we have, as you know, this controversy with your city attorney and her status. And now what I found was interesting, and I showed you off camera, and I'll present this to those watching. Hi, everybody, welcome. Is this initially when we reported this at Zenny 62 Report? This is our newest website of our 108. We have 108 websites, Ms. Mayor. But at any rate, yeah, it's cool. But at any rate, what I initially found was, and I'll present it here like so, this consumer alert. And I was tipped off to this by a viewer, by the way. So thank you very much to the viewer who tipped me off to the entire matter. And it reads as follows, and I'll zoom in or make it zoom. It's closer. And then once more with feeling. Yeah. And then I'll put this down a little bit like that. And it reads, consumer alert. The state bar has placed this attorney on involuntary inactive status. As a result, the attorney is ineligible to practice law in California. The state bar posts consumer alerts online in most instances when attorneys are placed on involuntary active status. Anyone who believes they have been a victim of attorney misconduct is urged to file a complaint with the state bar. And then when I went to make my follow-up, and what I discovered was something more fascinating. This is the same page, folks, the same URL, Uniform Resource Locator. And it shows present, active, no scarlet letter marking, no red box, no danger Will Robinson warning, nothing like that. But it does read quite interestingly that at 7/1/2023, Bijal Patel was not eligible to practice law in California, apparently for the entire month. It reads 7/1. So the action happened on the 1st of July. And it lasted all the way until apparently Ms. Patel was tipped off to it, contacted the bar, straightened out her issues, and by 8/1 was active. Which begs the question, Ms. Mayor, what would have happened if she wasn't tipped off at all, right? What do you think of all of this? I know because I have your statement out there, but I'd love to have you talk about this. Thank you.
And so many thoughts go through my mind. And so many different people have asked me, how does this affect Tracy? How does it affect our businesses? And we have yet to really find out how it's been really affected. I initially, as soon as I found out about this myself on Wednesday, I called for a special meeting. I went to meet with my acting city manager, let her know that we need to have a special meeting right away, and meet with our council so that we can discuss this. Because from my understanding of the contract, basically to be a city attorney, you have to be an active attorney. And I saw it online clearly too that she was ineligible to practice law in the state of California. So that becomes a problem. And like I said, we're getting together tomorrow. We have a special council meeting on Monday at 5:00 p.m. And we'll discuss this. Personally, as I said in my press release, that I truly believe that this invalidates her employment. It invalidates agreement. There's a self canceling clause in there. This is like seven things. But basically, it's all about her being eligible to practice, her ability to practice, and if she, in fact, according to the state bar, was ineligible to practice, then makes her ineligible to practice for our city.
Curious to know, this sounds like it means it reads 7/1. It doesn't say, the 15th or the 27th or the 29th. It says July 1st, which means the city of Tracy essentially went without an active city attorney, unknowingly, even to the city attorney herself, for an entire month. So I'm curious, what would have happened, do you think, if there were a trial scheduled for that month? She was set to appear, and perhaps opposing counsel had done some research, which would have been highly embarrassing for the city of Tracy, and depending on the case itself, could have plunged the city of Tracy into an unfortunate situation. Am I wrong?
You know what? There's a lot of business that happened during the entire month of July. And so that's how we need to find out how are all these things really affected, whether it's negotiations, whether it's court hearings, whether it's the city council meetings, the things that have been signed behind the scenes. But going back to your first statement as far as not the city not knowing, our attorney not knowing, it's highly unlikely that our attorney she was out of compliance because the education that had to be completed, the due date was the end of January 2023. So it just took that long before the state bar actually, I guess, looked at it, put it online. But I do have confirmation from the state bar that is not retro. As far as the whole month of July, she was ineligible.
Wow.
So whenever I can't speak on behalf of Ms. Patel. So as far as when she saw anything or what she knew, but I do believe from other lawyers and attorneys that I've spoken to that she have had to know all year long that she was not in compliance and that she should have got it together. She really had an extended period of grace. And so, but what's disturbing is that during that entire month, she never told us. She didn't tell the city. She did not. To my understanding, she didn't tell the city. But she didn't talk to the council members whom she reports to, which includes me.
Did the city manager know, the new interim city manager, as opposed to the one that was, wrongly ousted?
So I'm sure the past one didn't know, and the current one, I went to speak to her face to face, and so from her surprise, seemed to me genuinely that she did not know.
Wow. I'm also thinking about this, Ms. Mayor, from the perspective of bond covenants. You have bond issues that are out there, and you want to present as a municipal government that you have a intact, municipal corporation with an active city attorney, right? Correct. So what does it say to, bond investors if, oh, by the way, hey, the city attorney isn't minding her business, and oh, she wasn't there, so to speak. But according to the state bar, essentially, she wasn't there, even though she said she was.
Yeah, it makes it complicated. And I don't know how all this is going to unfold. But my concern is, Mayor, for our city. And our business at hand and our residents is that we are a functioning well-maintained machine to be able to carry out what needs to be carried out in our community. So one of the things that I read that disturbed me in the report from our Tracy was it was a preference to my quote. And it was talking about my open conflict or however they terminated it for for my relationship with our attorney. See, things for me, it's never personal. It's not about personality. It's not about the person. It's about the position and the purpose and the policy that we need to do to move our community forward. So it's never anything personal. Everything that I say that has to do with our position of city attorney has to do with the legal structure that we have within our city. And so it is
a question.
So go ahead.
What does that have to do with an action that person had nothing? I mean, that's so far afield from this. This was her doing, right? In other words, it has nothing to do with anything that you have with her. She screwed up. This is about her capability, correct me if I'm wrong, to do her job. And as a guy who's following bond issues a lot and bond covenants and talked to a number of attorneys or bond counsel going all the way back to before I worked for Elihu, it's very important to know that your city attorney is in place with respect to bond investments because of what it speaks to regarding the integrity of the city government. So that should be what any reporter is asking you about. How, I'm just puzzled that came up.
Well, the thing is, everything has happened so rapidly since Wednesday evening, and then we had Thursday and Friday, and then tomorrow now will be the next business day.
Yes, ma'am.
So as far as what needs to be evaluated, we have another legal voice that will come in to look at this and help us move forward.
And I think you're getting some advice back there.
Yes, it's echo.
Oh,
same thing I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. Tell us about, for those who aren't familiar with Tracy itself. I mean, you've got a great city, 93,000 population. What's Tracy known for? Brag about your city.
Well, our city's almost 100,000 people. But yet you still have that small town feel. We have parades downtown. We have a lot of community events that really bring people together. When I go to the grocery store, I always run into people that I know or know me. Whether it's at the gas station, whatever. I think that overall we are really growing. But I think we're growing smartly. We have a lot of houses in production. We have new businesses coming here. We have a mixture of people. It's not one ethnic group, but a lot of the ethnic groups cross over, get together, and really celebrate one another. So I think that's what's special about our community.
Now, coming back to this matter regarding Ms. Patel, you put out and we ran it on Zenny 62 or Zenny report here. You stated very eloquently and in some detail why you want Ms. Patel removed. I have it here, and you said that basically that the employment contract does not require a public hearing. Former's decision, and I'll present this in the window so that the public can know that what I'm reading from. If you go to zennyreport.com, folks, it's the most recent post, but it reads that simply stated, immediately means immediately. There's no legal difference between being placed on involuntary inactive status and having your license suspended. Ms. Patel was placed on involuntary active status because her license was suspended. In that case, her employment terminated on July 1st. And you go on to write, her unlawful actions have also put the city at risk and potentially invalidates and nullifies any contracts, negotiations, and actions taken by her during the month of July. Our city has been compromised, and research still must be conducted to uncover the financial implications of our city. In addition, all salaries she has received and any benefits the city is paid for after July 1st is a waste of taxpayer money. My lord, does that mean that that you will seek to have that returned if this, depending on how this might go?
There. When you look at things, you look at both extremes.
Sure.
And while it may be within our right to do that, I think it's just going to be the will of the council. And I think some things can be, become personal. But at the same time, it's business. So my whole point in even pointing that out is because our council is verbally fiscally responsible. And I think it's very important when we're pointing out different financial challenges within our city are the choices that we make, and we're presenting that to our community. It's important for the community to understand how financially this is impacting us, specifically with her position and unknowingly what's going to happen across our city and the different contracts. I am truly concerned as to how this will impact us.
Do you think the city council understands what it means to not have a key active member of its government whose name appears on its bond issues? And I go to that because people invest in municipal bonds that Tracy puts out. Does the city council truly clearly understand the gravity of what has happened?
I can't really describe what really our council understands. We have a fairly new council. We have some seniority, but then we also have some new. And just be able to get into the technicalities. I can't say where the level of understanding is, but I think it's very important that we bring that issue to the surface. And hopefully nothing's been signed or for the month of July.
So who on Monday, tomorrow, who's going to bring the issue up? Who's going to read the report that is associated with this council item? How is that going to go?
So basically it's presented if you look at the actual agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
As a personnel issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we do need to deal with it as a personnel issue as to where we go from here. That's my perspective. Because I truly believe that the actions that have happened for the month of July invalidates the contract. The agreement should be null and void. Now, I represent 1/5 of the council, but that's why I put in there as far as and I've had legal advice to look at my statement several times before I actually put it out.
Mm-hmm.
That the clause that's in there is actually section 6B, and there's 1 through 7 that really talks about the things that will automatically terminate the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that that's a violate. So with that, it wouldn't need the council to make a decision on that. But we have to really see how this turns out to be.
Yeah, because your city charter says that you need a 4/5 vote to remove her. I mean, and so you're not a home rule state, you're a general law state. But in this instance, and in every instance, your charter is the law of the land, regardless. So, it would seem to me that it falls to the council to decide what to do about her, right?
I'm going to try to just put my earpiece and talk straight through.
Yes, ma'am.
I found someone who's here and it says that my voice just keeps bouncing like.
You're coming through. Okay, sure. I mean, you're coming through loud and clear here, so that's interesting. But okay, I'm waiting.
I'm just turning the volume.
Okay, no, but you're coming through quite clear.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You just didn't want to hear you want to hear your voice in your ears.
I still hear my voice.
Okay, not a problem. But yeah, it's clear that just from reading your charter, it's ultimately the council that decides. But again, and I hate to press this, does the council understand the gravity of? Let's say that they say, okay, this is no big deal, but from my perspective, they send a message. This is just me talking in my opinion, for what it's worth, that it sends a message to the municipal bond industry that, yeah, the city is going to kind of let somebody, go ahead and allow themselves to look like they're inactive in our city government. And if they're going to do that, then who's minding the store in other, situations? That's the question that I think any evaluator or bond issue would ask at some point with a situation like this. If they didn't, they were asleep at the wheel with somebody's money,
Yeah, I
think
it really raises a lot of questions. I think of the integrity of your organization and the decisions that we make. I think will echo either confirm or deny whatever. That's come about. I know many people ask a lot of different questions. And while I may have personal answers to those feelings on those things, I will probably speak that to myself right now. But overall, it is a serious concern for the vulnerability that the city can be placed in. And I understand different ones will say, well, Mayor, you're pointing out you're making our city in a bad place. But I need to understand that it's not me pointing out. This is a consumer alert that's publicly noticed across the world to be able to see across the state at least.
It's a scarlet letter.
To see that we did not have a licensed attorney for the entire month of July. She did this herself. Not me.
Quick question, Ms. Mayor. Can I ask who would have the temerity? I'm just trying to put this around in my head, all right? Who would have the nerve, given the gravity of the appearance of a city not having its act together, all right? That's really what this boils down to. And that's what the city attorney has placed Tracy in. Who would have the nerve to get upset with you or anybody else bringing this up? In particular, the mayor of the city, who is the titular head of the city, who should be looking out for these things. Who would say that to you? I'm curious.
I
want names.
Issues that were going on in our city.
You mean like the whole issue regarding discrimination and the black?
Yes.
Okay, can you talk about that for a second? Bring that out, please.
Well, my council, the majority of them, in conjunction with the city attorney, brought up censorship. Then the very next council meeting, they changed all the rules how we deal with censorship to remove every accountability level. And then we can just do whatever they want to do, which they did. And remove me from one of my commissions, only one that I served on city. And then basically said, if I say anything else that they disagree with, they can further censor me. So and even in that case, I'm like, it's me as a mayor to be able to point out what's going wrong and how things are being processed correctly. And then when we supposed to have things in place for DEI, and then we vote those down. So we move every system in place. Then how do we expect to really evaluate this and carry our city with diversity, not just diversity, but equity and inclusion. So at that time, told by the other members that I was making city like that, and I was coming against city. And I was very clear that I was coming against city. I was coming against the wrong by individuals. And how that put everything within our systems. And that's the same thing right now. I haven't spoken to other council members. I can't tell you where this stands on this. But I just know that there are people that will still try to flip the threat and try to make it be when it's really about my concern for our community and for the government.
Ms. Mayor, I kindly point out, if I may, that to anybody watching, you didn't post this, right?
Right.
The state bar did. So how can you be accused of trying, I'm trying to wrap this around in my pea brain. How can you be accused of trying to make the city of Tracy look bad when this is out there and was out there for the entire month, and the people who are complaining about you missed it, and the city council has time to play racial games, but it doesn't have time to take care of the more intellectual pursuits of running the city? That's what it says to me. Why should a person invest in Tracy? I'm just saying, this is what the council has to ask. Tell me, why should any person invest in Tracy municipal bonds? We have a city council that's going to act like that.
It's a challenge. It's truly a challenge. And since I've been a leader, I've really tried to build teamwork. Try to build people to come together to look at issues, not look at people, but look at issue by issue. And let's work together on the things that need to be accomplished. And so when there is concerted diversion, are just trying to pull people in different directions. It's counterproductive. And when you see something that's reasonable, then all of a sudden question. And so why are you looking at this as if this is a personal issue when it's not? It's a real issue. Consumer alert. Being out there for our community, being out there for everyone. That's embarrassing. And I want so much more because we have so much potential, but we cannot be compromised. And I think that not only the everyday citizens that I've run into who've seen this, even people in other cities who's addressed me on this, it's very clear to them. It's very clear cut. But for whatever reason, it's muddy. And that's disturbing. But I think accountability and being able to say yes, we're compromised. Yes, we're wrong. What are we going to do about this going forward? I think that is what we need to really ask ourselves. So we could be affected, and one way or another, we will be. But how do we go from there? I think it's with integrity that we show ourselves to say there's been a shortfall. But how do we adjust? Don't try to sugarcoat it. We just in order to get healing, in order to move forward, we need to do this. We need to look at this. I was told, I don't know, probably months ago, even our current attorney, who said, I know you want to get rid of me. I'm never gonna do that. You're never gonna get rid of me. This right here is something that it's on her watch. So it's not me trying to come up with anything, make up anything, blow up anything. This is real. This is a real thing that affects the city. And I'm sure we have some taxes and other things that's going to make sure they legally solve it. But what we need to do is deal with this issue at hand. And that's the only way that we're going forward.
Well, does the city have a compliance officer, somebody who can monitor these situations so that at no point any department in the city winds up in this trouble? Because Fitch could come out with a ratings adjustment for Tracy for its municipal bonds and mention this issue, and hey, the damage is done right there.
Well, I'm hoping that whatever you do to fortify that place will happen.
Whew, my Lord, a fine mess. Let me ask you a question related to that. It has to do with economic development. I was reading about, and I want to congratulate your economic development department for a fantastic website that Oakland should copy, because Oakland's economic development effort is awful. And I've been candid about it, and I will continue to be. I love what you all presented, and you're working on a plan that was to be released in the summer. Where is that plan?
So I just kind of scrolling on my phone because I know I haven't picked it up. I think it's in a week. To look at the main plan that economic development has rolled it out publicly. Yeah, so they've been diligent on that. We have a really mobility and housing director, Adriana Castaneda. And so she's over that whole. And so a number of them are working planning. So I'm really looking forward to some really good updates.
And I'm curious to know, how's the pandemic impacted small business there? I know in Oakland we've lost a number of businesses due to the pandemic, and we've had an uptick dramatically in robberies. But I haven't seen that in the cursory research that I did regarding Tracy. I mean, there's an officer involved shooting. It happened way back in January, I think it was. But that's not related. It wasn't related to economic development directly. How is this pandemic impacted small business in Tracy?
I think that the whole period of 2020, how it unfolded affected a lot of businesses, small and large. And so I think we put a lot of things in place to help, especially our small businesses. We put out I think there were $5,000 grants, forgivable loans to our small businesses. We really tried to be creative ways to really help the especially the restaurants where we allowed to have food outside, and to be able to expand their business going. And to my knowledge, almost everyone continued to hold on. I know I had meetings with some that were on the edge. They put their whole life into this. They're saving everything. And if they couldn't open back shortly, they were going to go under. But I believe even those few companies that I did meet with were able to make it through. They were able to fight.
I just want to share with you that great news compared to the contrast that our former mayor and my god sister, Libby Schaaf, put in. Rather than having forgivable loans or some program that finance small businesses, I actually blogged encouraging this. She had a task force meet to discuss the pandemic and response in the future, to which I said, you're going to meet for 4 to 6 months at a time when small businesses are being asked to shut down, and you're not going to help them keep open via grants or loans or anything else. So I applaud you for handling it the right way. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I was really concerned because our community. Yeah. Many of our business are done by people in our community, even if they don't live in the community. They serve the community. And it's important that we're looking at them as individuals, looking at their families to be able to survive in their investment. It was in their investment. It was important to continue that. So we have a lot of things going on. Police force, different things that they were forcing or trying to help educate. And so, wasn't just blowers. Oh my God, they have people. What are we really doing to help them? I mean, do they become criminals because they're trying to offer services so that they can survive from day to day? It's crazy.
Ms. Mayor, I know I've held you for 30 minutes plus. I could go for longer, but out of respect for your time, I just want to thank you for joining us and welcome you back to talk. Come on back and let's talk about this situation, because you have the meeting tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. Pacific. Yes. At Tracy City Hall. So when we open up, we will have, even though it's closed session, we will have public comments from the public. So whether they come in person or whether they log in on WebEx, they're able to comment their concerns. And I think that it's important that people are really giving their communicating and articulating their concerns, and not to downplay it. I think that even with our local paper putting this on 7 with the little just a little on the front page, no picture, that we're really trying to downplay it.
whether it's for the trying to help protect Tracy, or whether it's trying to. I don't know. When I was accused of an FPP violation in 2018, I was on the front page. My pictures. I was clear of it. Never did a follow up. Whatever. It's my concern that we're the downplay things that are really important. And we're blowing that are frivolous.
Yeah, this is major league important because, again, I stress to anybody watching, if you don't understand bond covenants and the need to present as a city a sound, consistently operating municipal government with people on the job at all times, then you're effectively saying to the worldwide bond community, hey, we don't care. We don't care how you downgrade us. If you do, it doesn't matter. We're going to take care of our own personal issues and politics. You know, the city be damned. That's the message that Tracy would send if it continues to allow this sort of thing to go on. And what will happen is that the rates for bond issues will go up. The city will have to spend out more regarding bond setup. The yields will not be as attractive. And Tracy in total will not be as investable a city as it is today. Even if it's that by a little bit, it's headed the wrong direction.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know all of our things on ratings when it comes to how much we have in the bank, how much we have a reserve set aside. As far as debt to income ratio, understand those things as they're presented by our finance committee, our finance professionals there at the city. So it's all a matter of. I think that because there's a elected popularity or whatever, we're there. And it's really up to professionals to explain how things affect us. And unless they can, that this can affect us, then they wouldn't know. It's a lot of things that we're doing. A lot of times just policies. But it needs to be honest and not trying to show or anything, because that's not helpful. That's not helpful for us to make decisions.
Ms. Mayor, hey, stick around in the background, but thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
You got it. Stick around. You have to move a muscle.
I will.
Hey, folks, that ends this broadcast. We'll be back later to talk about the National Football League. Please subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark our newest site, ZennyReport.com. Kind of like Drudge Report, but different structure. Thanks. See ya. Okay. How was that?